You're inside the Taylor Tilton Hour. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Taylor Tilton Show, streaming live every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook with replays on Spotify and Google. Then enjoy the Taylor Tilton Hour on Comcast channels throughout the Southeast. For more information about the host of the show, visit ChristieTaylorConsulting.com. Welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. I'm your host, Christie Taylor, and I am so happy. This time of year makes me very reflective. I'm counting down to my birthday, the end of December, and it gives me also an opportunity to think about new ways in the new year to do amazing things. So when I have an opportunity to talk to a guest that inspires me, oh my goodness, it just sends me over the edge. And I today am excited to meet and chat with Kelley Poling. She's a star on the rise to watch in Hollywood. Cleveland, Ohio-born Kelley Poling has transitioned from being one of the top bathing suit and athletic models of the late 90s to working as an actress in film and television today. Now, as a model, Kelley worked on campaigns with Hawaiian Tropic, Nike, Yamaha, and Harley Davidson. For a year between her modeling days and her acting career, she was on tour with Madonna. Having grown up in a military family, she is also a marksman with handguns, rifles, and archery. Now, Kelley is also trained in automatic weapons and martial arts techniques specific to film and television. Now, when she's not filming, she's traveling the world as a competitive classical fencer and is proficient with foil, small sword, dueling sword, rapier, and sabre. Now, Poling has been training for more than 20 years in New York with let me make sure I say this. That is Maserati Jeannette, Acosta Martinez, and Ray Martinez of the prestigious Martinez Academy of Arms. Now, for fun, she surfs. She surfs, runs 5Ks, and performs Celtic Scottish music. Wow, someone to inspire me today. Here is Kelley Poling. Welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. Now, Maestro or Maestri? I was trying to make sure I had that.
Maestro is one, and then both of them together, which they're married, is Maestri. But the Maestri doesn't have to be that they're married. It just means that it's the plural of Maestro.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that today. And of course, I say that you are a source of inspiration to me because, every end of the year, I'm going toward my birthday and the new year is upon us. And I'm thinking of new and exciting things to do. But I don't know if I'm going to get into fencing and automatic weapons. But I tell you, you are pushing the envelope, lady. How did you get started? Give me a little bit of your background. Cleveland, born and raised, yet military.
Well, I came up in a military family. So guns were second nature to me. Mostly just going to the shooting range with my father and my cousins. We all like to practice. It's just target, mostly when my dad's a hunter. I don't like to kill anything, but I love the competitiveness of the gun, like just the shooting of the targets. And, it's more like you're trying to one up yourself every time you shoot something, you shoot the target. Yeah. So, yeah. And it's fun to learn all the different guns, and it's fun to learn all the different. And then it got into. My dad we used to shoot the old guns, the powder guns. Oh, wow. So he likes the antiques. So I grew up with both kinds, and then of course along with that comes swords. But I didn't like the smell of the gunpowder or the loud noise being a young child, but I liked the swords. So. When he would go to his competitions, somebody was there trying to teach me how to use the swords that they usually would bring with them to show off. So that's my love of weapons started out being aesthetic, like the shiny, pretty things. And then it went to, the competitive aspect of it, trying to better yourself and shoot the targets, whether it be a bow and arrow, a pistol, a rifle, a sword, doesn't matter. It was fun to.
Wow. Were you the only girl?
No, I have my sister.
Was she,
No,
was,
no, I think when you grow up in the Midwest, it's like
Mhm.
sort of a lifestyle thing. I mean, we were jumping off huge rocks into the river. I mean, I think I was a stunt woman at age 4. It's just that nobody caught it on camera, you know? It's like all those camping and hunting trips and everything and staying in our cabin in Pennsylvania. I can't even tell you. I'm so surprised I'm still alive.
That sounds like, okay, being from someone from the South, I was Washington, D.C. born, but pretty much raised in Tennessee throughout my childhood. And I remember cousins, especially in the deep rural areas, who would do, as you say, these stunts without cameras rolling. And it's amazing. Any of us. Now, I tended to stay in the house reading books. That was how I got my imagination was on 1,000, but I remember that. I remember just the when we would trek through the woods and run from the blue racer snakes, and I was the first one running, honey. But I was like, yeah, let me get up out of here. But I just remember
the water moccasins were always after me.
Yes, the water moccasins, ladies and gentlemen.
You can see them. You can see them coming them up. It was the alligators for you probably too. Not in Ohio for me, but it was those snakes and those, oh my gosh, the things we did. People would be, kids would never do it these days.
Never, not today. And I have to say that it provides us with an appreciation, one thing, for nature, a respect for nature, in my opinion. As yourself, I grew up around a lot of agrarian people who were still farming in the early 70s into the 80s. So there was
That's my family.
Yes, they had a strong appreciation for agriculture and for nature. And yes, there were some who was about hunting rabbits and deer and
squirrels and raccoons.
Oh my goodness.
We won't even talk about the stuff that, and like people.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I never killed anything. I couldn't, and forget it. I can't. I even put the bugs outside my house.
Well, I had a cousin. He had to, but it's interesting when you grow up in those type of environments as a girl, and your affinity and your ability to tap into that, and bravo to your father that allowed that to be nurtured in you as well, because it parlays into another amazing life that you can create for yourself. So coming from Cleveland in the Midwest, when did you started segueing into model? Were you into sports beyond the outdoor adventures? The reason why you ended up into athletic modeling and things of that nature?
Oh yeah. Like I was that girl that they would say, well, we need somebody to take the jet ski and go over there. And then I want you to come back and I want you to do this spin off. And I'm like, that was my weekends, It's like everything and people were afraid, there was people, I had like no body fat and I didn't like cold so much, but I did it anyways, because the extremes that you go through growing up in Cleveland, the temperature can be so cold, and then in the summers we're hot. You know what I mean? It's like, and I grew up I was a tomboy. I wasn't afraid of anything. Maybe the bears.
Well, the grizzly bears are to be afraid of.
I might have been afraid of the bears, but it's like the things I did. The things that they asked us to do as a model to just get the shot. I was like, got this, So I was the girl that always ended up doing the jet skis or water skis or surfing or, jumping off that rock and they catch you in the camera midair, and mountain biking, you name it. If there was an athletic thing to be done with a camera in somebody's hand, that was probably me.
Wow. So how far did modeling take you, Kelley?
Well, I was working for this company called Hawaiian Tropic, and I traveled the world with them, and the networking and the people that you meet when you do something like that is incredible. It could be any company. It could be any, and it took me, I did my last intern. I have a college degree. I actually waited until the end of college to take off with Madonna.
Oh,
I got my college degree, and then the next day I was on a plane. So,
you got to tell me the Madonna story. I got to find out how you.
Yeah, but that was more like, that wasn't like a great thing. That was like an accident that I ended up on tour with. But I ended up working. It was some of the best paychecks when I was that age, and my sense of adventure. I mean, I have a medical degree, but my sense of adventure just was like, oh, I'll come back to it because I need to go see the world. Coming from Cleveland, you want to go see the world. It's like, oh, somebody gave me wings. Here I go, And so it kind of catapulted me, the modeling thing. It took me everywhere. It took me places where I never could have gone. I'm like, well, I won't have this body forever. So I'm going to do this now. And then I'm going to go back to that other thing. So that's what I did. I took full advantage of my sense of adventure and, the God-given gifts, then traveled the world with different companies, mostly Hawaiian Tropic though.
I would like to know, from high school into college, and now you're introducing the modeling, and, we'll get to the full Madonna story. Where did the medical, the career choice in college focus come from? What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, it was sports medicine, and I've always been an athlete. I was a cheerleader. I ran track in high school. I was always interested in sports. So the study of the body and kinesiology was very, very important to me. And then I kind of narrowed it in. I want to be a surgeon. I wanted to fix knees. And then I remember being in surgery, when, the fake, when you're going through college, not the real ones. And I remember having the scalpel in my hand and actually cutting through skin, and I would pass out. I was like, oh my gosh, did I just not eat something? Or, I couldn't figure it out. I just didn't really have the stomach for the cutting part, which is very strange, for somebody that loves things that, cut and stab. And it's the weirdest thing. Psychology there.
That's right. Because you love swords, but you don't like the scalpel. Okay.
It's like, and then I thought, well, I think what I was really interested in was the physical therapy part of it. So I went along the sports medicine rehab part of the medical studying. So that was fun. I like the fitness and the rehab part.
Then it narrowed down.
So that's what I studied, and I modeled in college, but I kept it pretty local. I put myself through college that way, actually.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you. And so I when I was finished with college, that's when I said, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm like, but I made sure I had my college degree before I left to see the world. Basically.
Now, with that being said, okay, so I'm hearing growing up Midwest. I mean, truly got the tomboy edge. Even when you're performing and acting, not acting, modeling locally, you're very much in that outdoor adventure. Sports medicine is your focus. But I'm still trying to figure out, how did you leave college and go on the road with Madonna? So I was filming for one of the gigs that I was doing. I always make friends. Like I grew up on Lake Erie, and you think, how could you possibly be a surfer? But there's little waves there. However, I learned most of my surfing in Florida, and I was traveling back and forth to Florida a lot. So like spring break, and I modeled every vacation for me in college was working. Okay, understood.
I think I might have had one spring break with the girls, just like having some fun. But every other spring break was like modeling, working. Daytona Beach was the destination a long time ago, right? So I met some people that were they were surfers, but they were also cameramen. And so they were on tour with, they go on tour with different bands. And one of them, I made friends with one of them. I was doing a roast for Chris Collinsworth, actually, and he was the cameraman, and we were talking surfing, and they're like, "Well, we're getting ready to go on tour with Madonna. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah," I didn't mean course, who would say no to that, right? She was like, it was the blonde ambition days. So
Whoa.
yeah, it was back then.
Yes.
So I'm like, why would I say no to that, right? And so I'm like, I was thinking, there's no way they're gonna get me on tour. They got me on tour. I was a chef's assistant, started out, but I ended up doing a lot of other jobs with them. I actually did model a little bit with her. It's like S&M gear that was on that tour a lot.
Oh.
So, I mean, fully clothed. I never did anything like naked.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you had a chance to go from the chef's assistant to the stage?
It was more of a promotional thing. That's when they were filming that, the movie Truth or Dare. Remember that?
Oh, yes. Are you in that?
You can't even tell it's me though. I'm like in the whole thing. So I don't really, but I can say I went on tour, but I can't say that I was actually, it's like, is that me? I think that's me. Because it was, it was a great experience, I should say. I traveled all over the world with that tour. And then they got me on tour with Metallica after that, and I made it to two shows. I was like, oh my God, this is so not different. This is so different. Oh. Completely different. I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. Okay. Gotta go.
Yeah. It was two different worlds. It was two different worlds. So of course, that is also why you are modeling, professionally, traveling the world. So when does the acting bug hit you? Because what are you, like, in your 20s at this point?
Yes. So I did a few television shows in Orlando, the ones that were filmed at Universal Studios over there, which a lot of times the companies that I was working for, not only would they take the actor, the models to be maybe the girls on the beach, the girls at the pool in a movie like Weekend at Bernie's or Baywatch. We were on Baywatch all the time. But so sometimes, I was doing that. And then I did this show. I don't even know what happened to it. It was called Super Force. And I did one of the first pilots for Power Rangers a long time ago. And I don't know. I don't have no idea whatever happened there. It got scrapped. And then next thing you know, it's, everybody got fired. It was a whole new crew. It was a thing. It was a thing back then.
Yes.
But it's fun for me to say, oh yeah, I was the first Pink Power Ranger, even though, I think my mom has the VHS tape. I don't know.
Wow, that is vintage gold.
I have to find it.
Yeah, vintage gold.
Right? I know. So that's what got me into acting. But I was still very much an action person. Like, I loved adventure, and I loved the modeling gigs that actually took me out and I had to do something physical. I was never the kind to just stand there and take my picture. It's like, let me do something and then take my picture.
Yes.
Like do some. So I'm still like that. But one of them, I got into a nice accident and ended up getting some really good scars from it.
Wow.
So I ended up going corporate. I started using my knowledge that I gained through college and through, my experiences as a model. And I did a lot of work with charities for a company out of New York. So I went corporate a little bit while I figured out what to do with my newfound face. With
your face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I have like some replacement parts here.
So
I have some nice scars.
Okay.
But the fun thing is it's hard to stop me. So I worked corporate for a while, and then my job actually had me move to the West Coast. It's a New York based job, but I moved out here to the West Coast with some of the projects. And I'm like, oh, well, as long as I'm here, let's do some acting again. So I've been nonstop ever since.
Now, with you doing acting, and I know you said during your modeling career that you loved when you had the physicality added into it.
Oh, yeah.
Not only were you acting, you became one of the top stunt women in the industry. I mean, how does that happen? I understand you love the outdoors, you're very physical, but to become an actor with those things in your, reservoir is one thing. but to actually become a stunt woman is a totally different thing within the Hollywood industry. So tell me about that, Kelley.
It's completely different. But let me just clarify.
Okay.
I don't do those kind of stunts that you see on TV where they're jumping out of helicopters. Not that I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
you know, I'm not like off the buildings, out the window, off the helicopter. Trust me, I would love to, but I haven't been trained in the industry for that kind of thing. What they call me is like an action actress. And I do a lot of the weapon and the fight choreography when there's guns, knives, swords, especially swords. And when there's, you know, like a little bit of there are some stunt women out there. I can't even tell you the talent and the experience that they have. I'm nowhere near that. I mean, these women, they do wire work. They fall in little holes like this big with, you know, like, I mean, some of the things that I've seen people do, that's not me. I'm more like the action person with the lines where your face gets shown, more like the, I mean, it's a dream to always like to do the John Wick stuff, but it's like that kind of thing rather than like.
Are you in episode 4? I just saw the new trailer.
Oh no, I wish. I would try to get, oh my God, that's a dream. That's always a dream for somebody like me. Yes. But like Tom Cruise, he does his own stunts. Right. He jumps from off one building onto another. I mean, that's big stuff. That takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of practice. And I train and I practice all the time, but it's mostly with weapons. It's mostly hand-to-hand combat and smaller stunts. I used to do the bigger stunts like jumping off cliffs and stuff like that. But nowadays it's, you know, when you get to a certain age, it's more like, oh, let's just go punch somebody's lights out, you know, on screen. Let's just do this, you know, bad guy, you know, you know, the rescuing people from fires and, you know, the weapons, more weapons oriented things.
You know, I'm really happy that you're breaking this down because I never knew that there was such thing as an action actress or actor.
Yeah.
So that's really amazing. Now, of course, I got to celebrate real quick, Kelley, that you recently had a full spread, as in like last month, the Chic Compass magazine, and you have a new film coming out. You can tell me about that, Peter 5'8". And also the second season of Charmers and a new Netflix series. So kind of give me some insight into what you have going on as far as your current projects, including the spread that was done on you.
Well, I've had actually a couple of good magazine spreads out there. So my modeling days aren't quite over yet.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've had some really good pictures taken of me, and I've had some really nice articles written about me, and I'm actually grateful that I have these magazine spreads and they threw parties for me. It was exciting. I don't think I've ever been the center of attention like that. But so it's one of them is called Chic Compass, and that was the most recent, and you can still pick that one up. They're both Las Vegas based. Well, actually, one of them is online based, but Chic Compass is definitely Las Vegas based. So I flew over there. I had they had a big party for me. It was really nice. And then I have a movie coming out called Peter 5'8".
Yes.
I played opposite a 2-time Oscar winner who is, you know, in a little controversy right now.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey, Rebecca De Mornay. Really.
Rebecca De Mornay. Yeah, so I have a couple of good scenes with them in there. Okay. So that was really, I mean, to work, you know, I can only speak of my experience with people.
Yes.
Anything outside of that would be unfair. And to work with Kevin Spacey was a pleasure. He was a complete gentleman, and I learned a lot. He taught us a few acting tricks on set. I mean, It was a very good experience for me, and it definitely brought up the caliber of acting in the room for sure.
Tell me
So,
about your Charmers. Give me some information about Charmers and your Netflix special. I mean,
oh
series.
yeah, so Charmers is cute. It's a kids show. It's a kids witch show, and I get to play the mom of the lead witch, actually, one of the. And so I had a lot of fun with that. It was filmed here in California, and the kids were great, and the other moms were great, and that's fun. That's out. It's on Peacock. You can watch that.
Oh, okay.
And I have another show coming out that's coming on Netflix, which I can't talk about that much because I'm literally right in the middle of filming it. And the director is, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we have quite a bit that we can find about you. So IMDb, if you want to learn more about Kelley, in addition to going to her IMDb, for those who are in the industry, you know, that is the source. Where are the other places that we can connect with you, Kelley?
Instagram at Kelley Poling, Facebook at Kelley R Poling. I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Let's see. My website is www.kelleypoling.com. That is
Kelley's with 2 E's, KELLEY, POLING. Okay.
Yep.
You know, and I just want to real quick, Kelley, just give them a taste, just a visual taste of the type of work that you do. Kind of break down what's going on here.
That's whip work. A whip is basically a flexible sword. So it's I'm training up at a place called Rancho Indalo with Anthony DeLongis and Mary DeLongis. Mary's really good with the whip. Another married couple that teaches stunt choreography and weapons. And on the right hand side with the sword in my hand, that's what I look like when I'm doing classical fencing. My favorite sword is called the small sword, and I have competition coming up in New York. It's called the Grand Assault of Arms, actually, in New York City next week.
Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations to you. Classical fencing. And of course, you tour the world, you travel the world still doing amazing things. And I know we have not even scratched the surface of all the things that you do within the industry, let alone the things that you're doing outside of it, such as like women's health advocacy, your resilience in, like you said, the tragedy that you had that took you from the entertainment industry for a minute and put you in corporate, and now you're back, a force to be reckoned with, indeed, a rising star. So just as you wrap up, I know that you want to possibly just share a little bit on your position when it comes to women's health advocacy.
Oh yeah. I believe in healthcare for all. I believe in the right for women to have, control of their own bodies and the say of what they want done with it. So I'm also a woman advocate and young girl advocate. Mm-hmm. So empowering women is one of my goals in life. I'd like to, I'd like for women to be able to make their own choices. I don't care what country they're from. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's not enough of that. Do you understand? Yeah. So, but having power and choices in every aspect of our life is something, no matter what age, is something that I'm working towards.
Kelley Poling. Be sure to check her out on her website, kelleypoling.com. That's Kelley, KELLEY, POLING, Poling.com. Also Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm about to find you over there. And thank you so much. You've been so gracious. We have to do this again, lady. We got to do the extended version because I have so many questions about I feel like you're like an Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah. I would love Indiana. I mean, I'll keep right up with that guy. So.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. You've been so gracious. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. The Christie Taylor Show.